Hi, my name's Jin, and I'm platinuming every Assassin's Creed game in order. Last time, we completed Assassin's Creed on the Xbox, and this time we're playing the iconic, the esteemed, the acclaimed Assassin's Creed 2. This took 3 weeks to platinum according to PSN profiles, which is a week longer than my last go, although there was a week in the middle where I was away for my birthday. We get a lot of trophies through playing the story, so we'll go through that first. The short version is this. Lucy breaks us out of Abstergo and we enter the Animus as Ezio Auditore to murder our way across Renaissance Italy with the assistance of Leonardo da Vinci before we punch the Pope and talk to God. For a more thorough watch, let's continue. Assassin's Creed 2 picks up immediately after the first game, with Lucy doing a quick birthing simulator and a trophy with Desmond before we break out of Abstergo. I let Lucy take on 5 dudes and she throws me in the trunk for the drive, where we get our second trophy, Arrivederci Abstergo. Eventually, we make it to the Assassin's hideout and get to meet our 2 other modern assassins, Sean Hastings and Rebecca Crane. We say hello and sit down in our new favourite gamer chair, the Animus 2.0, which also gives us a trophy. This is when we properly begin our life as Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Life is pretty good for Ezio right now. He's got his boys, he's got the girls, his dad and the brothers are nice and alive, and we're about to beat up the school bully. One cool little detail about the first couple of games is the mirror between Desmond and his ancestors. In the first game, they basically just put Desmond in a cloak and called him Altair. In this first cutscene, Ezio takes a rock to the face and cuts his lip, a little feature we've seen on Desmond before. After we beat up these blokes, or just throw them into the river, we go for a late night parkour with our brother, get our face looked at, and Romeo and Juliet a lovely lady. All in a day's work. Things are about to get a lot worse. By the way, from this point on, just assume that I'm climbing all the high points in each city and doing big jumps. There's only one achievement associated with this, I like the view, which is for sinking 10 viewpoints and the rest just unlock more of our map. Our dad, despite being very proud of his slut of a son, has a few errands for Ezio, which include delivering a note, a letter, and a missive. It's during these errands I get 2 easy trophies, Lightning Strike for sprinting 100 metres and High Dive for doing a big jump off Giotto's Campanile.
Giotto's Campanile.
We also do some family errands, such as beating up our sister's cheating boyfriend, getting some feathers for our brother, we'll come back to this, and carrying a box for Leonardo da Vinci. Shock horror, after all our gallivanting, we come home and find that Father Auditore and our brothers have been arrested. We book it across town to check in on them, and he tells us there's a special secret waiting for us at home, which turns out to be some sweet new drip and a letter. Simple office admin will save the day. Take the letter over to Uberto's, ignore that guy, who tells us that we are very good at delivering letters and this will all be sorted in the morning. Next morning, he hangs our dad and brothers in the town square. Keep ignoring that guy.
You did it, Sonic!
It's time to take this into our own, very untrained hands. After a brief lesson in laying low from the local prostitute courtesans, we pop over to our new Bezzy mate Leonardo's place for him to patch up our dad's hidden blade. Very important. With the tool of our vengeance in hand, well, on wrist, we pay Uberto a quick visit while he's out and give him a good stabbing. We also have a rise up moment and declare that the Auditores are not dead. To everyone's surprise, we are now quite wanted in our hometown. It's time to get the hell out of here and we're taking our mother and sister with us. We sneak out of Florence and head to the mountains. Ezio doesn't know what we're doing or where we're going.
I don't know.
But the mountains seem like the best place for it. Which is where we run into our old school bully, Vieri de Pazzi, and we have a little tussle. Lucky for us, our Uncle Mario is hiding in the bushes to deliver the best joke in the series.
It's me, Mario!
And take us to Monteriggioni, which will be known only as the Villa going forward. After a little bit of training, we're off killing again.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
And meet up with Mario to murderize de Pazzi Jr. Ezio gets a little carried away at this point, and Mario teaches us the importance of closing their eyes. This is where our super cool revenge mission to murder local bullies becomes a whole thing, and we find out that the Pazzis were working for the Spaniard and the Templars, and where a lot of things become the proper nouns. Before we do that though, we get a quick rundown of the villa, including looking at a big wall of pieces of paper, we do like those, how to upgrade our stronghold and make money, and we get a glimpse at Altair's emo phase armour, which will be unlocking ASAP. Back in Florence, armed with a codex page, Leo teaches us some cool murder methods and tells us about La Volpe, who can help us in our quest to rid the city of de Pazzis. He, in turn, sends us into a nearby tomb where the Templars just happen to be meeting. Convenient. Also convenient is that there is another assassin tomb in town, so we net ourselves 2 trophies here. Daddy DePazzi makes his move and attempts to assassinate Lorenzo di Medici, but we're the assassin here, so he only manages to kill his brother. We stash Lorenzo away and pop off to kill Daddy DePazzi, hanging his body in view of Granddaddy DePazzi. We're coming for you too, Pops. In order to really put a nail in the Pazzi conspiracy, we take a little trip over to Tuscany, where we murder a number of their conspirators. First things first, we scan a glyph and unlock the first of Subject 16's videos, more on this later, for 2 achievements. Tip of the iceberg and a piece of the puzzle. As it's nearby, we pop into a local monastery to assassinate Stefano di Italian name, who's posing as a monk there. Also in the countryside, we break into Archbishop Francesco Silviata's villa with a contingent of rugby players to give him a stabbing. Before we take out their financier, we take a slight detour for another glyph and an assassin tomb. Bernardo Baroncelli was apparently prepared for this because he saw me in the well and ran off, but there is no escape and he is executed. The last of the unimportant targets is Antonio Maffei, who's ranting and raving on one of the towers in town. So we take out the archers, climb up and give him a murder. I did try to throw him off, but he was not cooperating. And finally, we tail Grandad DePazzi to his meeting with the Spaniard, who very kindly leaves the old man bleeding out on the ground for us to finish off, after a brief sword fight. This storm of murders gets us the Conspirators Trophy. For our troubles, and knife, Lorenzo gives us a lovely cape and Leonardo decides to up sticks and move to Venice. Unfortunately, as his only friend, we are the only person that can help with the move. Be thankful you haven't had to move with the local city guard on your heels trying to set your van on fire. And despite all that, we're not allowed on the ferry to Venice. So we have to save a very stranded lady from her predicament, who just so happens to be the local politician, Caterina Sforza. How convenient. Briefly, we take a break from our epic gaming session to do some training with Lucy in the warehouse, testing our response to the bleeding effect from spending time in the Animus. Things seem to be okay and we've shored up the headquarters defences, so we're allowed to go back to Italy. So there was a bit that I forgot about when I was preparing the script for this video. After our training with Lucy, on the way back to the Animus, Desmond passes out, and we have a little bit of time with Altair as we watch him shag a Templar, and then dips, like an assassin always should. Right, back to the video. In Venice, we are immediately witness to some good old corruption in the streets, and decide to investigate further, whereupon we witness a cute girl take an arrow to the knee. Lucky for us, she's part of the local assassin's Brotherhood. She teaches us to double jump, well, climb, and we do standard assassin busy work before murdering the local politician, Emilio Barbarigo. Because we hate local government, we set our sights on our next target, Carlo Grimaldi, who is, unhelpfully, trying to kill the current Doge in an impenetrable fortress in the middle of town. But it just so happens we know someone who's had a flying machine in every one of his cutscenes, and he owes us a favour for helping him move house. First of all, we take out some archers and set some fires around town to make our entrance more grand, and ready ourselves in this newfangled device. There is a missable trophy in this section, Fly Swatter, which we get for kicking a guard while using the flying device. This seems like a simple ask, but apparently it took me more than one try, plus the several attempts to fly across the town to the palazzo. We are too late to save the Doge, who has already been poisoned, but we assassinate Carlo for the impenetrable palazzo anyway. By this time, all the assassin tombs should be unlocked and ready for completion. I had taken some time to complete them as I found them, getting Prison Escape and Hallowed Be Thy Name by the time I kicked a man off a roof. Now I could complete the final tomb for Venetian Gladiator and took all the seals back to the villa so I could look like a badass. Luckily, we're just in time for Carnival, but first, let's go get a gun! Foreshadowing Assassin's Creed 3, surely. As it turns out, our current mask is not cool enough to get us close to Marco Barbarigo, the newly elected Templar Plant Doge. But a ticket to the best party in town is available if we can win in a few Carnival games. Although, in a shocking twist, our victory is spurned and the ticket is given to Dante Moreau instead. Not taking no for an answer, we steal his ticket and sneak in anyway, to shoot Marco with a gun. At this point, I did take a little break to check off some easy trophies. For one, I dumped a load of money into the villa to get Podesta of Monteriggioni for reaching 80% of the stronghold's value. Art Connoisseur was achieved by buying the cheapest painting from Florence and Venice. And finally, Perfect Harmony for dyeing my base armour. We return to the story after that brief soiree to continue our familicide by killing Silvio Barbarigo. We need to break a mate of the Brotherhood out of captivity first, plus a few of his men, to run rampant through the city and leave our target open. With this happening, we easily murder Silvio and that rat Dante as they flee for the Bianca's Man trophy, although this turns out to be a distraction that we'll need to figure out. Okay, I don't want this to become a bit, but during my playthrough I lost a load of footage due to PC related shenanigans, and I had to replay some of the game for footage, which is why I don't have Altair's armour in the upcoming clips. While we're sitting around contemplating our birthday, we are reliably informed about a boat that's made its way to town from Cyprus, and figure it probably has a piece of Eden with it. We follow a bloke across town to confirm our suspicion, then take part in some identity theft to confront the Spaniard. He gets his villain monologue about the apple and the prophet and probably more there's telling us that he's the prophet. We luck out and all our mates happen to be in town that day, so there's a big punch up before the Spaniard runs away. The Brotherhood decide that we are in fact the prophet, which is fun. It's at this point we are inducted into the Brotherhood ourselves. Luckily we don't need to cut any fingers off, and it's at this point in a previous playthrough of Assassin's Creed 2 I realised I could just get the symbol tattooed on my finger. So I did. While this does raise the question of how I'll celebrate this Platinum Challenge as a whole, that's for another video. This would be where we get the Prophet trophy if everything was going to plan. Before we move on, we need all of the Codex pages spread throughout the cities. Once we've got all the pages, we can spread them out on the wall, use our Batman vision, and discover our final mission. We have to kill the Pope. It's actually pretty easy to break into the Vatican to have a punch-up with the Pope, all things considered. Yeah, there are blokes and he has a lightning stick and we have a ball, but this does quickly devolve into us beating up an old man in a basement. After which, we meet God, a woman, and they talk to Desmond through Ezio, and really, Desmond sums it up best.
What the fuck?
The credits roll, and during that time we see that the Templars have broken into the assassin hideout. There's a bit of a scuffle, but Warren Vidic manages to escape, as do the assassins. Helpfully, because we have quite a few trophies to get, we are sent back to be with Ezio in the villa, so let's get cleaning up. So far we have about half of the trophies for Assassin's Creed 2. There are a few that I've already collected in my playthrough, such as Mailman for tackling a Borgia courier. Two that unfortunately got lost with my dead hard drive was Sweeper and Kleptomaniac. Sweeper requires learning the long weapon technique from Mario at the villa and sweeping 5 guards at once with a long weapon. Kleptomaniac is for pickpocketing 1,000 florins from around town. Immediately after returning as Ezio, I did the easiest achievement at hand, Mythmaker. There are 8 statuettes of the gods hidden around the town that you can collect for display in the back garden of the villa. Some of the easier trophies to complete right now are Doctor, for assassinating a target who has been poisoned, Man of the People, for throwing 300 florins on the ground, Street Cleaner, which is for hiding 5 bodies in one hay bale, not just 5 bodies in hay bales, and Red Light Addict, which took a bit more walking around but was for spending 5,000 florins on courtesans. There is a trophy for completing one of each of the activities in game. Steal Home for winning a race, Assassin for Hire for completing an assassination contract, and Macho Man for a beat-up event. Lastly, Victory Lies in Preparation, which is for getting all of the item pouch upgrades from the tailors, the armour upgrades from the blacksmith, and hidden blade upgrades, which is the reward for collecting all of the codex pages. Now, as ever, it's the combat trophies that cause me the most grief. In particular, Messer Sandman, which is for throwing sand in 4 guards' faces at once. I swore I got this once, but eventually the best way I found to get the trophy was to trap the guards in a corner and throw the sand in there. The last combat trophy that really irked me was No Hitter. I did keep trying to pull together groups of guards to counter down, but I either kept getting hit or having them realise their mistake and run away. I eventually cheesed this by grouping up about 10 guards, dropping a smoke bomb, and killing as many as possible while they were stunned, and cleaning up the rest. This leads on to 2 collectathon trophies, Vitruvian Man and In the Memory of Petruchio. For Vitruvian Man, you need to find all the glyphs hidden in the world and unlock their videos. What I would recommend doing for this trophy is to find the glyphs as you progress and unlock each zone, and get a nice message telling you where you are and if there's a glyph there. Unless, of course, you are well versed on Italian geography or use an online guide to find the glyphs and unlock the video. In Memory of Petruchio is the expected Ubisoft world-spanning collection of an absurd amount of trinkets for a trophy. This time it's feathers. There are 100 feathers in 4 cities, and make sure you don't miss one, or you might have to check this over several times. It was this one, by the way. Collecting and depositing all of the feathers nets us a lovely cutscene with our despondent mother, as well as our own spiffy cape, which means we can do the last trophy for the game, Show Your Colours. This is an easy one. You just need to equip the cape and visit each location in game. Not just the cities, but also the mountains, which gets us our last trophy and a platinum. We are the Master Assassin. One PlayStation Assassin's game down, so many more to go. As I said in my last video, Assassin's Creed 2 really refined the formula put forward in the first game, and defined what an Assassin's Creed game was going forward. For a while anyway. We have a compelling story with a lovable character that really sets the stage for the Assassin versus Templar battles ahead. The modern storyline is just about hanging on, but I think most people are here just to parkour across historical buildings and stab historical figures. It's interesting that the developers leaned into real-world history for this game's story, such as intertwining the Patsy conspiracy with the Spaniards' rise to power to claim the Peace of Eden. There's a reason Assassin's Creed 2 is considered a classic. There's a reason we play as Ezio in 2 more games. Overall, Assassin's Creed 2 remains one of my favourite games, but I'm ready to move on to Brotherhood for the next month. Please remember to like, comment and share this video. You can join my Discord via the link in the description below and find other cool things there as well. Bye!